have this in case something goes wrong with the stream. But you know what? And I'm going to turn down the music a little bit too, folks. Just having one of those Brian Culberson kind of mornings. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to jump out today and just cover something that I thought I found kind of interesting anyway. And my question, so let's start with a question first, right? So the question that I have is, how open are you to change? So I asked this and everyone goes, oh, I'm super open to change. Or, you know, if you're not changing, you're not growing. Or, you know, there's all these cliches. But I think what I'm really asking is like, how open to change are you? And where does the source of that change come from for you? I make content a lot. I make a lot of content. And, you know, I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude. And in my mind, I'm like, I want to be authentic. You know, I want to be, you know, all these crazy cool buzzwords, right? I want to be authentic. I want to be spontaneous. I want to be, you know, I want to engage with people. I want people to jump in and you know, comment, like, and share and all these things. And then you look at some other stuff that's out there and sometimes it can seem contrived or built up on some other platform or way or something. I think you get what I'm saying here. But you got to be open to criticism, and you have to look at it from a very realistic perspective. And so I jumped on live today, and I don't do this too often, but I jumped on live today because I really felt inspired by somebody. So somebody that I haven't yet communicated with face to face. So if you don't know this already, I ask people to connect on LinkedIn, and then I offer each new connection a 15-minute phone call just to get to know each other. Not a sales call. It's a discovery call. It's, who do you know that I should know? Who do I know that you should know? You know, what's your core mission? What's your biggest project right now? You know, is there anything I can add value to, or is there any way that I can introduce you to somebody, or hey, just make you feel great and have a good conversation just for a small moment? You know, and some people would say 15 minutes for everybody, that's a waste of time. And I would say, if I make a connection with somebody and I don't have 15 minutes for them, I probably shouldn't have made the connection in the first place. So I offer that out there. Now, one of the responses I got back from that invite, quite honestly, isn't a compliment. And that's not a bad thing. It was written with respect. And in fact, I'll read it to you. It says, hi there, how are you? I'm great, thanks. It says, I almost daily see your posts here on LinkedIn, and I highly appreciate that you keep your audiences informed. Okay, starts out great, right? And I make content almost daily that ends up in the LinkedIn feed, okay? It says, but if you don't mind, there's an issue with the posts. They aren't getting any traction because the graphics are not so good. And the company posts are also like personal posts. So there's a couple of things going on there. One, earlier I said, you know, I wanted to have an organic feeling. I want to have a sense of authenticity, a sense of spontaneity. And to me, you don't get a sense of authenticity and spontaneity when, you know, your graphics are crisp and it's obvious that you've got a department that you know, built your headers and your bumpers and your trailers and all that stuff. I've got products that I put bumpers and trailers on. I've got like little small, like almost like ad reels or highlight reels that I've made for Manana no Mas and the Power Sport Academy. And gosh, even if you get into like the Pod Show Exchange and other projects that I've worked on, Challenge Connection, there's bumpers, trailers, lead-ins, screen, you know, thumbnails and things like that for those products. And there's brands and there's logos. And in a perfect world, I would have built a equally strong branding presence for all of those projects, just like I had for Manana no Mas. And in fact, the branding for Manana no Mas, almost by mistake, became so strong that I'm kind of locked into it. Like if I wanted to change my name and my image right now, you know, to say, okay, well, I'm going to ditch Manana no Mas and start a new brand. Like if I brought back Von Concepts, let's say, you know, I still own the name Von Concepts. So let's say I wanted to switch and be Von Concepts moving forward. There's so many people attached to the Manana no Mas name and brand and persona and what it represents that it would be really difficult to switch that midstream. So I take a comment like this and I go, okay, don't get mad, right? So it's like, don't get mad. Don't take it personal, even though you're incredibly, personally attached to the content. Don't take it personally. Let's take a look at what she's talking about. And so I do that. And I'm just going to I don't know if you can share this screen or not. Yeah, you can. Look at that. Okay, so I'm going to share this screen and you should be seeing, these are basically thumbnails that I have, right? And so if I were to open these up, that's not going to share in that screen though, is it? Let's do that. Let's close. I'm going to stop the share and I'm going to redo the share. Here we go, shared screen. And we're going to go and I'm going to show you the pictures. Okay. So this was a screenshot from one of the videos. And then I put text over it. Here's a screenshot and I put text over it. So the thumbnail in the YouTube video or in the LinkedIn reshare or the Facebook reshare is this thing with writing on it, right? And so I'm taking a look at that and I'm going, okay, I personally, let's get off of there. We're not looking for video right now. To me, I was like, okay, recharge with a hand-drawn battery. Again, my original goal was organic, authentic, spontaneous. And so that's what I was going for when I think of those 3 words. But if we get into being a premium company and growing something and gaining people to take a look, what would it look like if, let's see if this pulls up. Oh, come on, baby. And so what would it look like if that was the thumbnail instead, right? This shows my travel vehicle with the emergency lights, right? Are you having a service emergency? That's kind of what that's communicating. And then the micro moments that I'm doing on a daily basis for the Power Sport Academy, but that would be the title, right? So, free micro moments, in service, right? So people go, okay, he's talking about service. It's a free micro moment. It implies that it's short. And this would be the thumbnail moving forward. Now, if I were to, at the bottom here, like maybe under Power Sport Academy, but I hate to mess with the branding, right? But maybe up here in the top corner, in the blue sky, maybe I would just have small print that would be the subject of whatever that talk was, making a great first impression or, maintenance upselling or something like that that goes with the industry, right? And so my point here isn't, hey, help Kurt with his branding. It's I'm not looking for, feedback's great. All kinds of feedback is great, but I'm not looking for feedback on that per se. Got a message up here. Let's make sure that I'm not missing somebody. All right, looks like we're still good. And so feedback's great. I'm not looking for suggestions or necessarily graphics help, but the point of this video and going live on LinkedIn in the moment is to say, how willing are you or how open are you to taking feedback or criticism from different sources? This person doesn't know me. We didn't talk. They don't understand, my driving motivation for organic and, spontaneous and the other word that I use that I have now escaped from. I gotta get some help with that. Gotta get some education on how not to lose words. But if I take a look at someone took a moment and they wrote me something that wasn't like trolling it, and you know what, we'll hop on a call one of these days and chances are she's a graphic designer and wants to sell me thumbnail making services or something like that. I understand, but being open to the criticism and open to the idea that something could change here. Let's be real. If I take a look at the Facebook page that is the Power Sport Academy, and I take a look at the Power Sport Academy page in LinkedIn, and I take a look at the page under your business page, what do they call that? It's basically you reserve a hashtag on it. It's a sub-branded page. Anyway, I have one called Fixed Operations. So if someone searches Fixed Operations on LinkedIn, they get to that page, which refers them to the Power Sport Academy. Anyway, if I were to take a look at that and go, okay, let's use her word, traction. How much traction am I getting with this messaging? Now, I'm going to be extremely transparent and vulnerable to you right now. She's right. There's not a lot. In fact, when I first started the free micro moments, they were just on Facebook. And then I was like, okay, I wanted to use Facebook because the Facebook pages seem to get more interaction than the LinkedIn pages. So, I've got a fair amount of people in there that have started to pay attention to that. And they started coming back more when I was doing the micro moment, when I started the micro moment last month. But if I were to look at overall engagement and growth, if growth is the metrics I'm looking at, there's not a lot of traction, right? So I've been able to attract the people that already know me and probably understand the organic and the those words. So those folks that know me, that have worked with me, that know my heart and know my passion, they see it and they go, oh, Kurt's got another message, and they look at it. Sometimes they comment, sometimes it's a direct email, other times they share it somewhere else, which is great if they do that. But am I getting new audience members? And when I take a look at the growth, while there's a little bit, it's not what I expect for the daily exertion, right? So we always have to look at what we do every day and go, what's the return on investment here? And so how willing, I say, how willing are you to change? And then what I'm basically doing is I'm showing you, like, look, I'm making a change based on somebody's feedback. And we have to constantly try. And it doesn't matter if we're talking about digital marketing, if we're talking about productivity, production, it doesn't matter if we're talking, about running the boardroom meeting. We have to be willing to say, okay, what's the feedback? What's the criticism? Let's take a look at what we actually have and then go, okay, can I up level this? And is it worth up leveling? Is this going to take me in the right direction? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use that thumbnail, the one that I showed you, the graphic design one, right, with the free micro moments. And I'm going to try and do that probably for a week or 10 days and see, okay, is there an uptick in viewership? Is there more share on LinkedIn? Is there more share in Facebook? Am I getting more emails and comments back? And if that works, well, then fantastic. But in order to know if something works or not, we have to try it, right? We have to do like an A/B testing, right? So sometimes you launch things at the same time to different segments of your audience. Sometimes you go, okay, well, I'm going to send half the audience this one, and I'm going to send the other half of the audience the new one, and I'm going to see if engagement increases, right, with the B testing. But in this particular situation, since these are usually live videos that go out to my whole audience, what I'm going to do is I already know what A did. I can look at that and go, okay, we ran that for just over a month, and that campaign in just over a month got me this result. So now what I'm going to look at is, from March to maybe the first week in April, I'm going to run this new campaign with new thumbnails and more professional looking promotional material to go in the front of that daily message. And it takes a little bit of extra work. I'm not going to lie, it takes a little extra work. But if I can do that little bit of extra work and see that the numbers substantially change, then I'm willing to do that. Right. So, and let's be honest. I mean, if the Power Sport Academy expanded and I got, 10 more dealers enrolled in it, in the next couple of months, or 100 more dealers enrolled in it in the next year, folks, I would have a graphics department that I would then say, hey, let's go out, let's do a photo shoot day. Let's, get 200 images into a media bin somewhere. Let's give you access to these templates. Now these images need to be edited to go into, this media bin for this social. So, as you grow, you grow. But as right now, I look at the workforce in Manana no Mas. We're a very small team of people. And I go, okay, for this very small team, what can we accomplish? And, this B-level testing that I'm going to be launching into starting today, that we can very much do. And I think I've had people tell me, like, I went to the AIM Expo in January in power sports, and that was in Vegas. And I ran into people there that said, here's what I like most about you. And what I got back, and this was feedback from people that I worked with, people that we've spent time together. And, we were talking about business and being an entrepreneur and how to grow something and how to make things happen. And the feedback that I got was very complimentary in a sideways way. It was, dude, what I love most about you is you're willing to fail. You're willing to try something. And if it doesn't work, you're willing to take the criticism and change it. He goes, and then, hopefully you can make enough changes in the right direction that, you begin to grow something that is formidable. Right. And that to me is key. So I ask you, how willing are you to make a change? How willing are you to take the feedback? I'll go one step further. If this is a membership or learning website oriented, or you're working in WordPress, or you want feedback on some messaging, hit me up. Drop a message in my inbox. Let's start a conversation. If you're looking for feedback, I'll give you feedback, or I'll hopefully find a community that'll give you feedback. And same for me. If you take a look at what I'm doing here and you take a look at my strategy, and you start to go, hey, what's Kurt really trying to do here? He posts a lot of stuff. If you take a look at it and go, man, I really don't know what you're doing, Kurt, maybe you should rethink this. Hit me up. Maybe I'll rethink it. All right, folks, I say it all the time. I love y'all. I do. I really have a good time connecting with folks here. And I encourage you, like, share, all that normal stuff. But I think most of all, I encourage you that if you're seeing this and we're not already connected, go ahead and send me a connection request, and we'll connect, and probably invite you to a 15-minute phone call as well. Have yourself a good one. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.